We got this one, right? It's Houston, right?
The other team's quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard.
The first thing we always do in the game preview is look at the final injury report. It just came out this afternoon. Now, we got one player out, of course, is Darren Waller with the hamstring. Only played, 6 snaps 2 weeks ago in that game against the Chiefs. He's out this week. Foster Moreau is going to be the starting tight end, of course. Then we have Jaden Brown was questionable. He was questionable last game as well, but played. Matt Collins is questionable with a heel. And Hunter Renfrow is back. It's not the concussion. It's actually a hip-related injury. Limited practice. I think he's going to play, but he's probably going to have limited reps. But on the Houston Texans side, Jonathan Greenard, the other guy on the edge, opposite of Jerry Hughes. We'll talk about them when we get to our offensive side. He's out for the game. Hughes was listed on the injury report as a knee, but he had full practice last 2 days. I think he's good to go. Then they got a couple wide receivers out here. Chris Moore, Nico Collins have been on the list. And then a couple backup players. So let's get into this. My first key to the game is going to be pretty basic, of course. I'm going to say they're not only their best player on offense, probably their best player on the team. That's Dameon the 4th round rookie running back. If you're not new to the program, this is a guy I touted during the draft process in the spring. This is a guy I wanted, University of Florida. 3 trunk legs, hard to stop. This is our between the tackles guy I wanted. We didn't get him. We got Zamir White. But he's doing it to it on the Houston Texans. Last 3 games, he's actually gotten into his groove here. Over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns last 3 games. So he's our biggest threat. So I'm going to put that as a threshold of 100 rushing yards. We got to get under that and no rushing touchdowns, which frankly is very doable because I'm going to go back to the second key of the game. And this is basically going to be on the defense, and this is why. Houston Texans are terrible. You can see here, worst offensive overall as far as yardage goes. Total number of first downs, they're 30th in the league. Third down conversions, 31st. But the one thing that they do well is red zone scoring when they get there. Now, they've only been there 10 times, but they've scored 6 times when they do get there. That's 60%. That's tied for 10th in the league. That's better than we are. So I want to say we get at least 3+ sacks here. Still waiting for that Chandler Jones sack. I want to get some plays up the middle of their best offensive lineman, Laramie Tunsil. Titus Howard, not a bad tackle either, but this middle I think is exploitable. Kenyon Green, the rookie. I think Bilal Nichols could feast here and get a sack as well. I want to see at least 3 sacks. And right here, 0 red zone touchdowns. I don't think they're going to get in the red zone that much. Maybe twice in this game, but we got to shut them out. Only field goals. And like I said, the Texans are one of the worst teams in the league. Came off their first win of the season at Jacksonville before the bye. They had a bye last week as well. Very ugly game, 16-9. This is not an offense we should be worried about, but they can run the ball and they don't make a whole lot of mistakes, so we can't allow them to score in the red zone. If you are enjoying this, why not give it a thumbs up? Why not subscribe? And especially if you're watching this on a replay, that way you'll be here with us live, and you'll be here for our next live, of course. That is at halftime this Sunday. Game time starts at 1:05. We'll be there about 2:30. Talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, in my opinion. We also go over the 4 keys to the game, see how they're doing. Have a lot of fun, a lot of interaction, and I encourage you to come out and join us.
I hear everyone say, take what they give you. We're going to take what we want.
As far as the offensive side of the ball goes, Darren Waller's out, Foster Moreau's in, Hunter Renfrow dinged up with the hip. Player I'm really worried about here is this guy Jerry Hughes, 4 sacks. Likely he's going to be lining up against Colton Miller. I don't see a whole lot of issues there. The first key to the game, of course, I put him on the thumbnail. We're talking about Josh Jacobs. I'm not only talking about Josh Jacobs, I'm talking about Zamir White. I want to see White in this game. I want to see maybe 60-40 split in the carries. We got to pound the ball against this team. They are 30th against the run. They were terrible against the run last year. I talked about perhaps in the offseason trading Cleve Farrell to them to get brandoncooks before we got Devontae Adams because their run defense was so bad. And Cleve Farrell can set that edge. That didn't happen. They're still pretty bad at stopping the run. I put a lofty goal here, over 150 rush yards. I want to see 2 touchdowns, and I want to see at least 7 rushing first downs. If we do that, this game is over unless we do something crazy, and that's what I'm going to get to my second key to the game here. And I put it under Carr. but this is generally offense. I want to say over 400 total yards combined, 25 total first downs. And this is the big one right here. No turnovers. No turnovers. The Texan team, they're not that good, but they're very opportunistic. Kind of reminds me of the Colts last year. They're even worse than the Colts were. Don't give them an opportunity. If we go and step on these guys' necks and get a big lead and hold on to it and don't let off the gas, this is going to be an easy win for us. The talent just isn't there on this team, to be honest with you. Davis Mills is one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league. 5 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. I could see us getting some turnovers, maybe another defensive touchdown like we did with Denver, but we have to keep the ball. We have to play a clean game. Basically, if we play a clean game, we don't turn the ball over, they can't keep up with us. Their defense is terrible. Their offense isn't that much better, but they are starting to establish a running game with Dameon We have shown we've stopping the run pretty well overall. Had some spurts here and there, but overall doing a much better job, especially than we did last season. So I do not expect a huge issue with this game unless we do something stupid, of course. It goes without saying, no stupid penalties, no turnovers. And this is what I'm going to say our prediction is. I'm going to say 34-16 Raiders. This one should be a relatively easy win. Had the week off, I know they did as well. We're playing at home against, honestly, an inferior team. They have a better record than us, but they've been playing a bunch of questionable teams. Denver's won. They played the Colts. They barely beat Jacksonville. I think that this is a nice team to get a good run started for us. And quite frankly, we need that at this point, being 1-4. But I want to know what you have to say right here. Put your predictions for this game. I said 34-16. Put them in the comments section. Either if you're here live, put them in the chat right now, either on Facebook or YouTube, or put them on the replay on YouTube. I want to hear what you have to say. Of course, I read the comments. I answer most of them except for like the German porn bots. You know, I probably should say this word here.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing. Just win, baby.